Regulators, mount up.
It's been a while since Dog the Bounty Hunter left TV screens for good, but it hasn't been enough time to forget about him. Usually known by his nickname, Dog Duane Chapman is one of those not-so-rare cases of reality television personalities who rose to fame for dedicating their life to an unusual occupation. Nonetheless, while the life of a bounty hunter might not be fitting for everyone, and even less ideal, it's apparently quite profitable for those who do their work well. In the case of Dog, his bounty hunting escapades have amassed him a considerable fortune, something he isn't afraid of showing off by acquiring some properties and other assets. Stay here to know more about Duane "Dog" Chapman's financial situation, what happened to his Colorado mansion, his private life, and so much more. Sometimes it's hard to say goodbye to the things which remind us of better times, but it's something that often happens sooner or later. This is the case of Duane "Dog" Chapman and his Colorado house, which he owned for over a decade before selling it in December 2022 for $1.6 million. Although the house was initially $1.69 million back when it was put on the market early that year, the final cut price wasn't a loss of money for the veteran bounty hunter, as in 2009 he bought the house for $7,500,000, making the sale an undoubtedly good deal for Dog, and hopefully for whomever bought the impressive 9.29-acre property. As seen on online reports, the 6-bedroom mansion's privileged view of Colorado sunsets, along with its spacious and luxurious interiors, are qualities that most people would look for in their dream house. Nonetheless, Duane prefers different things in life nowadays. "I love Colorado. It'll always be special to me," he told the New York Post, but also revealing a move to Florida, searching for warmer weather. While details about Dog's new house in the southeast of the US are unknown, his Florida home would surely rival the previous one in luxurious content and probably price. Though it's sometimes thought that the lives of TV stars are lucrative, that clearly depends a lot on how successful they and their shows might be. Although those conditions might not positively affect everyone involved in the entertainment industry, for Duane "Dog" Chapman, the life of a TV star has fortunately done wonders for his financial situation. While it's unknown how much money he had prior to rising to fame in 2003, and subsequently starring in his popular reality show Dog the Bounty Hunter, nowadays Duane has accumulated an impressive net worth of over $6 million. All of this is the result of his salary from TV, and the extra income provided by other side deals, added to the thousands of dollars he's earned from his commissions as a bounty hunter over several career decades. Knowing all of this, it's really not surprising that Dog has owned several properties and lives quite a comfortable life in spite of the dangers of his job. Although Duane Chapman's current money situation is considered healthy, not so long ago he faced some legal troubles which could have potentially affected his financial stability. As it happens, in 2015, Duane and his now late wife, Beth, purchased the stunning Hawaiian house as a secondary home for $2,240,000 from a real estate agent couple named Craig and Mills. Allegedly, Dog and Beth didn't pay for the house entirely, leading Mills to sue the couple for $109,328.69 in unpaid monthly payments and reimbursements for utilities, real property taxes, and insurance premiums, as stated in the court documents from late 2018 posted by The Sun. Besides the payment of the aforementioned figure, the plaintiff also asked the Chapmans to leave the property, which they refused to do. Following the unfortunate death of Beth in mid-2019, Duane admitted in an interview with Entertainment Tonight that he had plans to sell the house despite not wanting to definitely leave Hawaii. "It's not morbid and she didn't pass there, but that's her house, right? My house kind of was the Denver place. Her house was Hawaii," he admitted. Although discussions between Duane and the Mills went on, it's unknown what the fate of the house actually was. Besides the aforementioned, Duane has gone through other financial difficulties in recent years. Shortly after his wife Beth's passing, Duane was reportedly in a tax debt of his Colorado house for $5,800, added to another $5,809 for a lien on the house, amounting to a total of $11,609 with 92 cents, as reported by The Sun. In order to pay off these debts, Duane was on the lookout for a criminal whose arrest would net Dog $1.5 million. Help from the local juror was needed so he could have the extra time he needed to put his hands on the man who would get him out of financial trouble. Because of my health and Beth's passing, I'm going to get an extension. I have to catch the bastard. I love it, he told the New York Times in January 2020. In the same interview, Duane revealed the cause of his lack of money. His declining health, including recent blood clot diagnosis, being the source of income of his family, and his then current emotional turmoil caused by the death of Beth, all took a toll on him, subsequently risking his home. Nevertheless, while it's unclear if he finally caught the criminal he was looking for, Duane has somehow solved his financial problems and kept the house. Beth Chapman died on the morning of the 26th of June 2019 at just 51 years of age, after battling stage 4 lung cancer for a couple of years. The news was announced by Duane through social media. It's 5:32 in Hawaii. This is the time she would wake up to go hike Coco Head Mountain. Only today, she hiked the stairway to heaven, he wrote. According to reports, Beth and her husband were staying at their Hawaiian home when she lost consciousness and was immediately taken into intensive care in Queens Medical Center, but sadly passed away less than a week later. Regarding her illness, at first, Beth was diagnosed with stage 2 throat cancer in September 2017, which went into remission after treatment. Unfortunately, she was later diagnosed with lung cancer, and despite undergoing chemotherapy treatment, she ultimately quit these and kept working with Duane as a bounty hunter in the meantime, as seen in Dogs Most Wanted. Her health struggles were filmed by the show. Following Beth's orders, Beth was adamant she wanted everything filmed. If anyone wanted the camera turned off, it was Dog. As showrunner Matt Asmus told the New York Times, the Chapman family finally said goodbye to Beth in a paddle-out memorial on the Hawaiian Ocean. While Beth and Duane's story might have ended on a sad note, their love path was filled with many good and memorable moments. The story of their first meeting is one of those which fit in the latter category, as they found each other in the least common of circumstances. In the 1990s, Beth was arrested for accidentally stealing lemons from a convenience store. The bail was paid by Dog, a friend of her lawyer and who Beth had never met prior to this. The first encounter happened in Dog's office when he entered the room and left Beth totally smitten at first sight. I thought, oh yes, he will be mine. Let the stalking begin now, she said in an interview with A&E when Dog the Bounty Hunter still aired. The story didn't end there though. Right then, Beth decided to become a bail bond agent in order to attract Dog's attention. I knew that if I wrote a whole bunch of bad bail that the bounty hunter would have to come sit in my office, she affirmed. Beth's strategy paid off and the pair didn't take long to become a couple. Although Beth and Duane had an off and on relationship for several years, they eventually formed a stable family. In December 1998, the pair welcomed their first child, a daughter they named Bonnie Joanne, followed by their son Gary in February 2001. The couple wasn't yet married, as Duane was still officially married to his fourth wife, Tawny Marie Chapman, with whom he tied the knot in 1992, but lasting only a couple of years together. Regardless, Duane adopted Beth's daughter, Cecily Barmore, born in 1993, from a previous marriage. He also apparently helped Beth in reconnecting with her oldest son, Dominic, whom she gave birth to in the 1980s but had given up for adoption. Finally, in 2006, and 16 years after their first meeting, Beth and Duane tied the knot on Hawaii's Big Island. The ceremony was attended by almost all of their children except for Duane's daughter from a previous marriage, Barbara Katie, who was killed in a car accident the previous day. The couple proceeded with the ceremony despite the sadness and with the approval of the entire family. It was a memorable event which was covered by the press, given the growing fame of the Chapmans back then thanks to their TV show. While Duane's marriage to Beth was definitely the longest, she obviously wasn't the first woman he tied the knot with. His first marriage was to LaFonda Sue Darnell, with whom he welcomed children Leland Blaine and Duane Lee. Apparently, Duane had already become a father as his former girlfriend Debbie White secretly became pregnant with his child Christopher Michael Hecht, born in 1972, and given up for adoption without Duane's knowledge. After his marriage with LaFonda failed, in 1979, Duane married Ann Tegnell and welcomed children Zebediah, Wesley, and James, who unfortunately grew up with no contact with Duane following the divorce in 1981. Duane then tied the knot with Lisa Ray Britton during a Native American ceremony celebrated in 1982. The couple welcomed children Tucker D., Lisa Ray, and the late Barbara Katie before divorcing in 1991. Later in 1992, Duane married for the fourth time to Tawny Marie, despite his better judgment. "I knew in my heart that marrying Tawny was a mistake," he revealed in his book, You Can Run But You Can't Hide. The couple didn't have any children together and separated in 1994, but only eventually divorcing in 2002. It's not unusual for widowed people to find themselves in love again, but in Duane Chapman's case, his love path for Beth's passing in 2019 has been quite controversial. According to an interview he gave People back then, he had promised Beth on her deathbed that he wouldn't be closed about dating again, but that he definitely wouldn't remarry. "What deal we said is that I will never take Beth off my chest, and I have her name here, and I will never marry again," he said. His next girlfriend's name was Moon Angel, a friend of the late Beth whom Duane started dating and moved in with a couple of months after his late wife died. However, the relationship wasn't well received by Duane's daughters, Lisa and Cecily, who famously criticized the union on social media. But Moon and Duane didn't last long together anyways. In early 2022, Duane met Francie Frayne, who had recently been widowed. They hit it off and eventually tied the knot in 2021 with the approval of the family except for Bonnie and Cecily, who weren't invited to the wedding. Despite all the criticism, Duane and Francie have seemingly been happily together for a couple of years, even moving together to Florida in late 2022 after the sale of Dog's Colorado mansion. Duane Chapman's most recent work on TV was the season-long series Dogs Most Wanted, premiered in 2019. Following that production, he was featured in Dog Unleashed, though the series never aired. And he was sued by the network Unleashed for $1.3 million in late October 2021. As stated in court documents, the reason for the lawsuit was breach of contract for supposedly illegal activities which took place while filming the show. As Duane deals with this supposed scandal and a failed TV project, it seems unlikely that his return to TV will happen anytime soon. But it's almost a given that he won't disappear completely from public life either, much to his fans' joy. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.